I forget what year it was. It was a few years back. There was a storm up here, and it was the nastiest storm. It was just ridiculous. Apparently, there was a tornado set down just north of the site, and the wind and the rain was phenomenal. Kim Mitchell was playing on stage, and he was right in the middle of his set. Halfway through some song, the storm hit. He finished off the song as lightning is crashing down all around him. Of course, they had to shut the show down. Last thing he said was, puts his hands up, looks to the sky, "I promise God I'll never play that song again."
What song was it?
I don't remember, but I'm sure he'll play it tonight. I just hope we don't get a repeat.
Manitoba! How in the fuck are you?
Nestled in a valley in southwestern Manitoba, just off the Yellowhead Highway, is a small farming town called Minnedosa. Minnedosa is home to about 2,500 residents, most of whom make their living off of agriculture, tourism, or industry, including the province's only ethanol plant. Like most small towns, Minnedosa boasts a main street less than a kilometer long, an award for most beautiful lawn, and more farm dealerships than convenience stores. Unlike most small towns, Minnedosa was once home to one of the largest rock festivals in Western Canada. Classic Rock Weekend began in 1996 and put Minnedosa on the map, attracting larger-than-life acts like Billy Idol, Alice Cooper, Def Leppard, CCR, and Sammy Hagar. Every August-long weekend, the town's population grew eightfold as 15,000 to 20,000 people per day flooded the concert site on Lake Minnedosa to listen to the best of North America's classic rock greats. The business community of Minnedosa thrived on the increase in tourism.
Yeah, more than doubled for the first 3 years there. It more than doubled. It was phenomenal.
Their service station manager, for example, would say that, the lineups at the gas bar were, all the way down the street, and by the time the weekend was over, the store was pretty much empty, cleaned right out, and that just doesn't happen.
Sales absolutely skyrocketed. Yeah, exactly. As you can imagine, you're only 3,000 people in town, or 2,500 really, and the summertime traffic usually here with the lake and the campground and the cabins areas and things like that, we usually, we're bumped up to about 3,500, 4,000 sometimes, depending on the type of a weekend. But when all of a sudden you get an extra 20,000 people in town, it's quite a big boost to sales and things like that. So it's absolutely excellent for the town.
With the festival bringing more and more fans every year, and the bands getting larger and larger, the concert looked like it had nowhere to go but up. Even when the first set of promoters pulled out in 2000, another group continued the concert on the same grand scale under the name Little River Rockfest. The August-long weekend festival appeared to be unstoppable, until the fall of 2003, when the concert went bankrupt a second time. The town and the fans were devastated, and businesses who partnered with the festival lost substantial amounts of money.
The first time it went down was you sort of knew somebody was going to come in and pick it up and go from there. It just seemed to be too big to not have somebody do that. And then the last time when it happened, it hurt.
Yeah, we were part of the ones that provided the alcohol for the site there, and like everyone else, no one got paid at the end. So we lost a fair amount. It was not a small amount. It's quite a bit, but it's more or less like a live and learn business thing that you go through. And there was loads of people that lost over that. And that's what I said when it started again. It was tough for people to get involved again.
There's not a great deal of money in that concert. If you look at the overhead, is very, very high. And I think there's a perception there's a lot of money coming in, so there's going to be a lot of profit, but there's a lot of money going out. If you think of putting 15,000 people in here, or even 10,000 people, all in one closed area, of all the toilets you have to have, the water you got to bring in, the sewage you have to haul out, the food vendors you've got to get in, the garbage you have to haul out,
the music that you have to have, the security that you have to have. It's huge.
We were like, oh, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
You know, and then when we heard that they were taking it over at a nonprofit co-op, we were on board immediately. Yeah, we didn't even, there was no question.
Like, yeah, we weren't diehards. We weren't here right from the start. But the 2 years that we were here, you know, prior, it became home for us. And we knew that we wanted to come back here. And probably will, for as long as they're on.
This weekend has come to mean so much to an awful lot of people. And when it went under, it just hurt. And we weren't prepared to let it die.
The town of Minnedosa and the fans of the festival both knew that a site as gorgeous as the one at Lake Minnedosa wouldn't stay dormant for long. If another promoter or group didn't get something going again right away, there was a good chance Minnedosa could lose its rock festival for good.
Well, back in the days of the other festival, they had a website with a chat room going on there, and spent close to a year getting to know people online. And as that progressed, we all became friends online. So we managed to meet up with everybody when we got to Minnedosa. We had lots of good fun that year. As soon as it went bankrupt and was gone, the website was still on for a couple of weeks, so we were still able to communicate with each other and exchange phone numbers and that type of a thing. And all of a sudden I got a phone call one night from a guy that said, listen, you interested in putting together something for Minnedosa?
Couldn't figure out what happened, why they went under. And somebody had an idea of forming a co-op as a way of just becoming a fans festival instead of a private enterprise. And we just kind of went with that.
We got talking about it, came up with the idea to register as a nonprofit cooperative, and there was 7 of us. We each put in $100 to cover some of the fees. We managed to get our hands on a list of patrons that had been here in the past, so we sent them all a letter and explained what we were going to try to do and asked them to consider helping us out. Lo and behold, I can't remember how many, but there was about probably 100 right off the bat. They all kicked in $100, and next thing I know, we were in the middle of it.
There's a core group of people who believed in the concept. They put in their money not knowing what bands were going to play, and they just kind of believed in what we were doing and had faith in it.
We thought if we could just sell some memberships or whatever, we could keep it alive. And they asked me to come on board. And my job really was to do whatever had to be done. I mean, every one of us did whatever had to be done. And I guess we came out many weekends out here. We got together, figured out how in the heck we were going to keep this thing going, because we had no clue.
It'd be foolish to try to do it if we were doing it for money. I think in the past it's been shown, you try to do something like this for a profit, for your own benefit, it's not going to succeed. So we decided, let's just make it nonprofit. And it would be unfair for us to receive any money, even for our expenses. It'd be unfair for us to, get in here for free.
With that, the third incarnation of the festival was born, Rockin the Fields of Minnedosa. The next step was electing a board of directors, a group of fans who are willing to eat, sleep, and breathe the Minnedosa Long Weekend Rock Festival all year round.
We are governed by the government, obviously, and it's just a nonprofit co-op with a board of directors that are elected by the membership, and we just run the show, book the bands, organize everything. And you have to be a member in good standing, which means you have to purchase your membership, and just like anybody else, and there is a vote like any other election, and the members vote on who is going to become a director. So anybody that owns a membership in the cooperative is able to come to the meeting and cast their vote.
The biggest concern for the newly elected board was coming up with enough money to hire bands for the festival. Goals for the first year were simple: to get a bunch of people and a couple of bands into a field without breaking the bank.
We sold memberships, and we sold them for $100. People threw in their $100. We were on a website, and it's just who wants to keep this going. And we had 90 people within about 3 hours that said, we'll throw in money. Well, about 40 of them did. And so with that, we had $4,000.
We recognized that we needed some help. We're not professionals. We're just normal working people and fans, and we knew we needed some help. And that's when we were fortunate enough to find Tom Crook and Grant Butler.
The board of directors I don't think they had really an idea what to expect.